Slow
I really
mode.
wish I had my soundboard guy. It's let me down. Droid, are you in here? You let me down, man. Let me see if there's anyone else that needs to be a speaker. Nope. I don't think. Am I missing anybody? Nope. I don't think so.
Old Wolf's in there.
All right, we'll start in 1 minute. A little less than 1 minute.
You see Old Wolf in there. Can bring him up.
Right, yeah. Droid let me down. I think he's getting removed after this. Just for this.
He's not moderating. His one fucking job.
All right, I'm not gonna make you wait for everybody, so we'll just go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. You're probably wondering what's going on. Why are we here? Why are we doing another meeting? Well, the answer is you guys have questions, and I have answers. I've talked to Vlades. I've talked to Yuri. I kind of just want to let you guys know what's going on because I know there's a lot of confusion going on right now in the community. A lot of people who's why are people DMing me? Beaver, stop. And yeah, you guys have questions. So I'll just start off by saying, full disclosure, I was asked to be the CM of the NA community, and another person was asked to be the head admin. I don't know if that person wants to say who they are, but there was a head admin that was also picked, and we were both asked to take over. And I said, I don't know about that. I'm not sure because there's a lot of dissent in the community. A lot of people are unhappy. So I wanted to kind of do a pulse check, see how you guys feel, how you guys want to move forward, if we want to move forward, and if we're going to move forward, what we're going to do. Because I know that a lot of people are upset about the rules, a lot of people are upset about the EU takeover, and I just want to clear the air because there's a lot of misinformation going around. So first off, I talked to Yuri, and he explained the whole reasoning behind the shared rule set, and that is mostly because people come into the PB Discord and they are like, "Hey, why did I get banned? Why, why this? Why that?" And they go, "I don't know. Are you NA?" And they go, "Yeah." And they go, "Okay, well, we don't know what the rules are, so." It adds to a lot of confusion, and I get that. But that being said, I talked to Yuri, and he basically said, "I trust you to do what you need to do with NA. So if we need to change something, we can do that within reason." So that's what I want to find out. What do you guys want to change ultimately? And is it reasonable? And if not, maybe we have to go somewhere else, and that's fine. You know, I will say that there are other mods in the works, and those people can talk about it if they want, but this isn't the only option. But I'd like to stay with PB. I think it's a pretty good mod, and I've spent a lot of time mapping for PB, and I have a lot invested in it. So I'd like to stay if we can, but I want to hear from you guys ultimately. So I mean, I don't want to just talk the whole time, so I kind of want to open the floor, honestly. So if someone has a real opinion they want to express about the rules or anything, not Beavis, no, that's a no. I'll let you talk, but you have a minute, and then I'm going to cut
And
you
if you're
off.
bullshitting, you're
And
never coming back up.
yeah, you have a minute to kind of talk, say whatever you want, but that's all you get. All right. I'll give you guys a minute, and we're gonna go over some rule changes, some other stuff. But I kind of just want to open the floor first, and then we'll kind of go over the more clerical stuff. So, all right. Spartacus is saying raid rules. Raid rules. All right. Here's the deal with raids. They are built into the mod. When the mod is done, theoretically, within the next month, the raid will be fully implemented. That means that you will be able to raid anybody from anywhere on the map. That is why the raid rules exist how they are. Now, I don't love that. I'm not a huge fan of that. However, if you have a problem with the raid rules, you have to talk to Yuri about it because that is built into the mod. Okay? I know that's AIDS. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't love it, but that's how the developers want the mod to be played is fluid, all right? Maybe while one faction is warring another faction is raiding another one. All right? That's just how it's persistence. If she's DMing me. Yeah, it's a rule break to pursue KR. So raids are also important in the sense that if you have KR, you can pursue it through a door, right? All right. We can revisit this topic, but I'll move on to something else. If would anyone like to have the floor? Hold on, I'm checking the speakers. I'll let Felco talk. Right, is that okay?
Yeah, Defalco.
All right, you have 1 minute.
Alright, so a little TLDR for me is that I'm pretty new to all this stuff. I started back in early August. I started playing on EU. Um, and a big thing I'm saying about the raid stuff is that like the difference from what I've seen from NA to EU is that like in EU they use the actual declaration itself from their
Mm,
camp, from a merc camp, from their base. They don't actually do it from anywhere. At least I don't know what it's been like recently. I haven't been on there as much. And so that's like for me personally a huge thing because then you actually get like it's not like a notification. Obviously, when you see people spam it in chat, you get the notification. You see that you're getting rated type shit. But like that, like pop up gives you time, and then it also gives you like an estimate. Oh, they're at the merc camp closest to us. We're gonna have 2 minutes to gear up, right? Like shit like that. It helps. And I'm gonna say this just because I know that my clan experienced it the most. I think spam rating needs to be like shot down. Like I don't care what group or if they're hiding under certain aliases or whatever, but like
that's 1 minute.
I literally experienced getting rated probably 15 times in less than like a 8 hour period, you know? Like and that doesn't make it fun for any anyone in my personal opinion. But I mean, I get it. Raids have a 15-minute cooldown. I have no opposition to that. But when the same group does it on repeat, just over and over and over and over again, like what content is
Yeah.
that? Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, just to speak on that topic about rating and chain
Right.
rating, um, I do agree that chain raiding is pointless because the sole purpose of a raid is to kill people, take their loot, take what's in the chest, raid some of the stocks. After you've done that,
Mm,
15 minutes isn't enough for them to restock, right? So if you're doing it again, that's just being toxic at that point. Like you're not doing it for resources, you're just doing it to kill people, get KD, ruin somebody's day. So even if we can't change the rules, we as a staff team can still look at that and be like, that's toxic, right? Like this is not good for the community. So we can start enforcing just admin discretion, be like, this is not healthy, right? Do it again, you're getting banned. Everybody participating because it's not good. Like you're not doing it for any purpose like resources or whatever. You're just doing it to be toxic, which we need to weed out.
yeah, and I should have brought the rules up so that I can look at it and see what they say. But yeah, it is 15 minutes. I mean, I agree. I don't think that's enough time to necessarily recoup after a raid. So that is absolutely something, I mean, we can look at and figure out a solution to. I think that that's a good point that you brought up, Falco. I appreciate it. I don't want us to spend too long on one topic. So, does anyone else want to speak about raids? All right, Johnny. All right, I'll let you speak, Johnny.
All right. I want to just touch up on the multi-castle not being allowed, no multi-castle holding rule, and I think that needs to be taken away just due to the fact that I believe personally that if clans have an incentive to hold their castle and anybody could come and take it, that brings more interaction between the groups. It allows more diplomacy between the groups because now these factions have a reason to actually want to ally with somebody else than the person that they're constantly allied with. For instance, I know a lot of people have complained to me, complained to my clan about the coalition warfare, how it's old, how it's stale, different groups incentive to attack each other. Different groups say one day, Nadros, we want Rome's castle. So we're gonna go talk to Targaryen, talk to somebody else and say, hey, team up with us, let's go take Rome's castle, vice versa. Now if you can't hold it, in my personal belief, if you can't hold on to your castle and you want to be an active, persistent clan, then I mean, you don't deserve to have it, man. Like if you want the castle, you need to hold it. I think
Yeah.
it adds to the level of persistence that this mod was originally intended to be, which I believe we've strayed from a lot within this iteration.
Mm.
So I have a question. So how does that help the community? Like, let's say, I know we have a new faction here, New Valyria. They changed their name, but you guys should know who that is. Let's say they have a castle, and then Rome's like, I don't like that you guys halted my serf. We're gonna take your castle, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now you have nowhere to stay. You have nowhere to grow. Your faction's dead, right?
I
Like,
would say that incentivizes New Valeria. Now, us and Adros, we've talked to them a lot. We've helped them out a lot. That incentivizes them to come to say us or NATO or somebody else and say, hey, Rome took our castle. Let's team up. Let's get it back.
okay,
It's incentivizes diplomacy. There
okay,
is no
and then
diplomacy right now.
okay, and then I will add on to that. Let's say they do that, and you're like, okay, yeah, let's go fuck up Rome. Rome talks to Targ, and then they rape you, and they take your castle. Now none of you have castles. They have three. They're griefing everybody. Do you see like how it kind of snowballs into an issue where one faction can make an alliance and then just deny everybody else the ability to have a castle?
Yeah, you're right. That can happen, but I don't believe it would stay that way. Maybe that'd be the case for about an hour or two, but nobody. Rome isn't, Rome is only one person. They go and do that to the entirety of the server. People are going to do something. They're going to act. They're not just going to sit there and let it happen. Like the pendulum's going to swing back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tricky one. I mean, if you know the history of the rule, I'm sure you do, that it stems ultimately from clans trying to play on the server, and another clan ultimately doesn't want them to play on the server, and that's ultimately where the rule was born out from. Do I agree with it?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like there's been times where like I'm playing with KOTF and we get siege, they take our castle, and if they want to be jerks about it and they're like, actually, we're going to keep your castle. I mean, it's pretty toxic. It's not going to make us want to stay on the mod. The fact that they gave it back is ultimately is like, okay, makes us feel better, right? And I think at the end of the day, like if you're just taking a castle just to screw with the clan that holds it, like I don't think people are going to really take to that very well. It's an interesting suggestion, though. I
And
mean,
I
another
think
thing about it is we have rules in place currently about stocks, like rating stocks, right? So like
yeah.
it kind of renders those rules obsolete if somebody can just steal a castle and take everything within. And then they own the castle, so now they can buy all the stocks and transfer it back to their main castle and so on. So like the rule in and of itself is protecting stocks and like the ability for a clan to remain tangible on a server. Like if they just have their castle taken, what do? They just walk around naked?
Well, no,
What can they do?
they network and they make an attempt to retake it. I mean, this has happened to me a thousand
Ideally, in a
times.
perfect
Ideally,
world.
well, that's as a leader of a clan, you need to have the ability to do that. Like that's on you as an individual clan leader. If you lose your holding, you need to be able to network with other people and talk to other people and do that. Like that's on every individual clan leader. If you don't have the social skills to do that, then I mean, I'm sorry. There's not much I could say to that.
Right, but you see my point about how we have rules to protect stocks because things have kind of been built around this rule of like a singular holding. Like
No,
so
I
now
under
it would be
I get the stock. I get it. I don't necessarily agree with it. I personally, I'm like I said, it's part of the whole persistence thing. I mean, back in the day, you're right. We'd get ward, we'd lose all our stocks, but then this would, it just incentivizes and motivates a group to get better, to not let
or
this happen again.
or what is the alternative? Other like if they don't get incentivized to get better and to come back stronger or whatever, they just quit, right? They're like, okay, this is the third time our castle's been taken, our stocks are gone, everything we worked for the week, our like everything we prepared, it's all gone. Fuck this,
Okay.
I'm gonna go play something else. You know, that's the alternative.
Yeah, no, you're
And I
you're
get what
right.
you're saying.
There is that alternative, which is unfortunate. I would like to think that the people that play this have some sort of dedication. I mean, a lot of us have been here since PW, including myself, so we clearly keep doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate your opinion. We got to move on to another speaker just to let everyone have a voice. Thank you. Um, yeah. Zion, I'll let you speak. I'm assuming you're going to speak about what he said. I don't want to stay on this topic too long, but
No,
if you have
no,
something to add.
I got other things I want to talk about.
Okay.
So the main thing I want to talk about is, as a community, where are we planning to head to? Like, do we want like autonomy for our own rules, or are we going to still be branded with this EU nonsense?
Yeah, sure. So I can answer that. I mean, ultimately, there's no EU nonsense. I would disagree with that. I think
Well,
ultimately
it's
what's
not like
happened
EU
is,
nonsense. It's just like we're
yeah.
not able to fix the problems at hand, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
the problems are not necessarily a rules problem. I think a lot of it just stems from the community, and we like to look at the rules as like, oh, the rules will fix our problems. I don't think that's true. I mean, we had Crossroads for a while, and Gavin obviously did his best, but as he
Yeah,
knows, the
but
rules don't
Gavin would be
fix
able to change the rules though if
everything.
he wanted to. That's the difference between this and PE. Is
Yes,
Gavin
and
could
mhm,
ultimately say, "Hey, this rating rule isn't working. The community is being toxic. Let's change it."
right.
Whereas now we can't because we have to go through, a EU overlord.
Yeah, there's no EU overlord. Like, look,
I mean, it is. I mean, we can
Yuri
just
has
call it what it is.
let
He's
me
Yuri. I mean, there's nothing wrong
ultimately
with it,
have.
but it's the
No, I
truth.
know. Uh,
Like, I don't
Yuri's,
dislike the
yeah,
guy. He's done a lot. Like, personally, when
yeah,
the mod is open source, I can't wait. I have my own ideas to work
yeah,
with
me
the modding
too. I,
myself, but
and that's the thing
it's
is,
it's it is what it is. Like, we can't
and
really work as a community.
no, I get it. And this is ultimately why I wanted the meeting because, yes, we are limited in a sense of what we can and cannot do. So we have to decide, do we want to work within what we got, work within the rules and the way that the mod is meant to be played, or do we want to call it quits?
Because,
And ultimately,
PB
it seems
has,
like
like,
everyone wants to keep playing. Hmm.
PB has amazing mechanics that PE never had. I mean, just the deployables by himself is an amazing aspect to the game that I feel like isn't really focused on enough, but that's beside the point. It's just,
I don't pay
would they
for the
allow
servers.
us would they
Mhm.
allow us to have like our own rule set is what I'm thinking.
So I've been giving conflicting answers on this, and this is why I'm careful of what I'm going to say. I think we can adjust what we need to if we need to, but nobody has pointed to a specific rule besides rating that we need to change.
Well, that was the only rule I was going to bring up. I mean,
So the so
personally, I think there should be
yeah,
less rules, but that's just me.
yeah. So the rating, I understand. Everyone has a problem with the rating, and that's something I can definitely try to work with and see if we can get that fixed. But other than that, I don't know what people hate about the rules. Like I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Let me get a just a consensus here
Go
from
ahead.
the people in chat. So we had an issue with the thief rules, right? We found out that the
Mm,
thieves were doing double damage, so we just removed them, right? Like us as a staff team, we just removed thief from the game. That was a decision we made. You guys hate raids, right? So what if we just say no raiding until it's fixed? Would you guys be okay with just no raids, only wars until we have the
Well,
mechanical?
I don't know if I talk for the people, but like, there's already no horses. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So I've been told that's only like a 2-day thing. I
yeah,
think
but
the horse
that's
will
what
be back.
it's just an example. It's like we're already saying
Yeah.
there's no horses. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're gonna do no rating. Like, it should be more of like,
Yeah.
why
I
can't
mean,
we
look,
fix the rule and so the
that's what I'm saying.
mechanics are made into the game? Because clearly Yuri has a mind where he wants to
Mhm.
make it where you're in castle to be able to declare a raid in game, but the mechanic isn't really fully fleshed out on the NA side. You know?
Look, if that is what is holding people back from playing, I will absolutely do everything to advocate that we just remove the rule altogether until it's fleshed out, right? And when it's in the mod, I can't change anything. But if it's
Yeah.
just a rule right now, then yeah, I will push as much as I can. And if the answer is no, we'll go from there. But if I say, hey, this is a deal breaker, NA needs this, I think we can get it changed. That's where I'm coming from. If it's like a deal breaker, I think we can get that changed.
I feel like there's a lot of clans, you know, that were burnt out from the rating rules. Sadly, you know, everyone kind of
Sure.
did their fair share of abusing it. I would say there's no
Mhm.
innocent factors in that. So there's no one
Well,
really to blame other than ourselves in the end of
sure,
the
sure,
day.
sure. And I mean, I can say from and I know we've spent some time on this. I'd want to move on, but I will just say from like the when I played with KOTF, we did a few raids, and it was always like I think a fair numbers. And the reason that we did a raid over just declaring is we know that if we declare, they're going to get a ton of people joining the faction, right? That's the problem that we can talk about later. But people joining to stack a faction is kind of become a bit of
Well,
an issue, in my
I feel like
opinion.
there's no way to make rules against that. It's just you
No,
need to
you
have
can't.
more of a
I know.
unspoken agreement between leadership. Like,
Yeah,
recently
absolutely.
we started realizing that in address ourselves, and so we told, you know, people who originally would come in to support us in certain wars to be like, hey, not right now, you know,
Yeah,
not today. Let's keep it even. Let's keep it. And it's just a
I'm-
community thing. Like, we have
I,
to agree
absolutely.
as a community to just not stack too much. I mean, if we
Yeah.
don't want to lose the castle, sure. Like, if they're trying to keep your castle, stack your castle. I
Mhm,
don't give a fuck. You know, it's your castle. But
totally.
like, if it's a fun like pub war, don't stack one faction. You know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and it's something at least we try to do. But not everyone is of the same mind. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zion.
No
We're
worries.
gonna move on. I appreciate
Can
you.
we
We're gonna move on
can we
to
get
another
people that
topic.
want to speak? Well, we probably should. Raid rules are kind of our biggest issue right now. So if
Sure. Yeah,
we could
we can
stay
have
on
other
the
people
topic,
speak.
but have
Yeah,
different
I'm fine with that. I just
subtopics.
meant like I want to give another person a chance
Yeah, yeah,
to
okay.
speak their mind, or we can move on to another topic. I have lots of other topics we can talk about, but I don't see anybody trying to speak, so that's why we might need to move on. No, not Beavis, not Poop. All right. Um, yeah, I mean, as far as rule changes, it seems like the biggest problem is raids and what else? The war timer. I know people. We've talked about the war timer. We, I've looked at it. I think we're all kind of in agreement that it probably needs to be adjusted to 3 Eastern to 12 a.m. Eastern. I think most people would agree with that, at least for the weekdays. All right, I'll let Patty speak. Lemalai wants to also speak. I'll let Lemalai.
Yeah, I think that as a community, we have a general
Oh, my
consensus
bad.
about what is
Sorry,
best for rating.
Oh,
sorry. Oh, I did the
you
wrong
could have.
person. My bad. My bad.
Whoops.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Hello,
Hey,
everyone. Actually, I was
Patty, just
wanting to
mute
let
when you're
Patty
done
go
here.
first because I was still writing my notes.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead, Patty.
Patty, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I think that we have a general consensus about rating here. I mean, I don't think anyone's disagreeing. I don't know if it fits in well with our culture on NA.
So here's what I
Uh,
know. Do we want the rule gone altogether, no raids, or do we want a adjustment to raids? Because
hmm.
I know some people do like the raids, and if it's built into the mod, I don't know if we can
I would
just
say adjust
remove
them.
it.
Man. We could start by talking about a cooldown, and then maybe because okay, I like a raid because it locks into a 1v1.
Right.
But as
I like
Yoshi
that too.
explained, it is very important though because you can't pursue
Mm.
KR through gates, right? So raid
Yeah.
is the solution to that scenario.
Hmm. Okay.
So I think this one is definitely a server poll. I would really, really think it's a server poll because clan leaders, we have good insight, but the people also are the ones kind of getting pounded by the raids. So we do have to get a poll going and see what we can all agree upon.
All right.
But
We'll add that to the polls.
yeah,
We have a few
the, ma-
already, but I'll add a few.
the main thing I wanted to bring up is I don't know if this is kind of off topic, but I think Tarsus is a great map, and I
Mhm.
think it would be really good for NA. There's a
We're gonna
lot
talk
of
about maps. Go
okay,
ahead.
yeah, there's a lot of good holdings on Tarsus, and I think every clan would have enough space to actually breathe and have, natural formed alliances or whatever it may be, whatever they need to do. I think that there won't be much bunking here on this map. I think Tarsus is a good map, and plus I trust Praetor to do a good job. But I think as a community, we need to definitely look into Tarsus. The test server is up, I believe. If you
Yeah,
guys want to
we're
set,
we're working on it. Yeah, and I was gonna talk about that too.
that's
So thank you,
that's all I
Patty.
wanted to bring up. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, appreciate it, Patty. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna talk about maps. I just want to kind of get this cleared up. Lumalai, do you still want to talk?
Oh,
Get a request.
I
Go ahead.
actually, yeah, I had a note here about maps, but or I don't know. Do you want to say
All
the
right.
the
Well,
thing first?
we're gonna talk about maps. I want to nip this in the bud. If anybody else has any more comments about raids or the rules in general,
I didn't have anything
because
about raids.
before we move off the topic. All right, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Anybody else have more comments about raids or rules in general? Wolf Assassin. Sure. We'll see. We'll see what this person wants to say. Hello.
After that,
It was not
let's
about
just allow Beavis his time to
not about the
speak, and
raids.
if he fucks around, just
Okay. All right.
remove him.
Um. No, Beavis had his chance.
Did he?
Zach, did you want to add anything? Anything we've said?
No.
I'm just opening up the floor to the staff because I've been talking a lot.
We do have. Let's see. I did a poll, just remove raids, yes or no. Had
Mhm.
majority for yes, but are the people voting yes because we can't adjust the rules? Would you guys prefer if we could adjust
Mm.
raid rules for a longer window
Yeah.
for the
So
grace period?
it's pretty. I mean, yeah. Yes has more votes. The problem with the community polls is when it's so split. Like it's like 60
That's what I'm
40.
saying. Now I'm trying to get it to be like,
Yeah.
is it? Do you guys want to remove raids, or would you prefer to actually?
I think at this point the best option is just to adjust. First of all, increase the cooldown. I think would definitely be good. All right, Oni wants to speak.
Yeah.
If this is about Beavis, you're banned.
Hello.
Yep.
I'm talking on behalf of Gavin. Uh,
Okay.
about ticket transcripts. I think that they should
Yes.
be public.
Can I?
Okay.
I probably handle more tickets.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Devil's Advocate. Yeah, you do more
So
tickets.
I'm totally cool with ticket transcripts being public. It's just we don't have a ticket bot right now. It's like we have the same ticket bot as EU, and all of like our access is built through the panel and like our panel level for admin. So to implement that would actually be like an entire overhaul of the ticket system. On top of that, whenever we have a ticket that involves some sensitive information and sometimes people's real names are in the panel, right? So like if we have that in a ticket and everybody can read it, then we're essentially just doxing people like by accident. So it's too iffy. I think like I don't care if people can see what I do in a ticket. Like anybody can screenshot a ticket, send it out, and anybody can say what happened in the ticket if they want to. But it's just to implement it would be too big of a change, and I don't think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Okay. Thank you, Ani. All right. Someone said allow KR to be pursued through doors. Raids can only be declared from Merc Camp or holding. Increase raid cooldown to 30 minutes or an hour. I'm fine with all those suggestions. I think the raids can only be declared from Merc Camp or holding. That would just be the current functionality. So until it's fully fleshed out, I mean that's something you have to talk to Yuri about because to me, my understanding is it's going to be built into the mod that anybody can declare a raid. I'll let Patty up. He wants to speak. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
no,
Patty.
sorry. I'd like to touch on that. I definitely think we need to go back to allowing KR to be pursued through doors. I think that's just kind of that's having good sportsmanship. Like, just say I have two guys on. I could go out,
Mhm.
harass someone, go hide behind my castle door, and just wave at them from the walls, right? So it's like essentially we need to allow KR to be pursued through doors.
Yeah.
Maybe you set a limit. I don't know. I don't really know if that's needed, but I think that's where we start right there. But um, with raids like can be declared from merc camp or holding, I think that could be appropriate. But also, I'm a firm believer in gentlemen's agreements.
Mhm.
If
Okay.
you, as clan leaders, we should understand that raiding on someone's door is kind of it can be a harsh act. It's needed sometimes because you have KR behind the six people behind the gate. Well, you just raid them and you punish them for it. But I think that maybe we move it to the merc camp or holding because the importance of a raid is it's a 1v1 and that is a strategical smart move for most groups that like smaller groups that can't better call out of numbers. They could take advantage of like a 12 versus 6, 15v6 if they do it right. So it's like a
Yeah.
1v1. I think that's really good. And then definitely increase the raid cooldown to well, actually, from what I've been reading, is that the feedback should be like an hour plus. I think
Okay.
that that's kind of
I
necessary
agree with
because
that.
just say, okay, I'll use the Targaryens for example. They get rated so much, man, and it is kind of a pain in the ass to deal with because
Mhm.
if you're a client that happens to be in the center of the map or you have a lot of enemies or whatever it may be, if there's not an hour cooldown, you can kind of just get rated on repeat, right? So
Sure.
I think an hour is probably where we should start. I think that's a good time for that, unless anyone has any more suggestions about the timer of that. That's all I'd like to say.
I like the time idea. I think the raids can only be declared. It's just hard to enforce, because it's kind of on the honor system in terms of like, oh, they didn't declare at the merc camp, right?
Well, if
Um,
somebody clips it, then they can send it into a ticket that the raid is declared with
sure.
that not being the case. So
When I've talked to
it's
Blaze about this, he kind of makes the argument, and I'm just kind of like only saying this because this is their viewpoint, is that NA doesn't do a lot of diplomacy, right? We don't really talk the clan leaders don't really talk to each other like, hey, can you stop raiding us? That kind of stuff. Instead of implementing rules, uh, I would like to see NA try to just strive diplomacy more.
yeah.
But again, that's obviously not always going to work. I see Felco saying I do. I'll let Clarky wants to speak. Let's see what Clarky has to say about that. Or about whatever. What's up, Clarky?
It's just a quick disagreement. Ultimately, I do feel like NA is known for diplomacy. Obviously, at times it, gets a little, I don't know, heated between clans. I think there are clans that have completely disconnected themselves from diplomacy, but I don't think that's the majority outlook of every clan in NA. And no offense, so I'm not demonizing anybody, but KOTF being one of them.
Yeah.
But with clans that I know Rome isn't even on good terms with, I think we had like 2 weeks where we didn't talk to NATO or Nadros or whatever it may be. We even talk to VK now, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, but I do feel like there is diplomacy. It's just a small select of groups. But to digress a little bit back to the raid part, the issue is and it's been the same thing ever since PW, that it's hard to enforce rules on things where mechanics would suffice better. And the thing is about allowing people to declare raids from either holdings or merc camp is that the in-game mechanic doesn't work at the moment. So nothing is barring anyone from just saying global to, oh, we are declaring raid on X faction, but in reality, some other faction is, not acting in good faith and has 6 chads around the corner crouched and just immediately pop up and start breaking a door. Or killing people entering the castle. So I think that though I don't disagree with the idea, I agree with it that it would be good to just declare from either Merc Camp or the holding itself. I'm trying to think more so along the lines of that NA severely needs an upturn in terms of positive atmosphere and culture for us to regrow and I don't know, just and includes me, but just be off on a better foot with each other. And I don't know if we should allow ourselves slippery slopes with those who don't have an interest in that. That's my
So,
2 cents.
yeah, okay. I think I understand what you're saying. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kargi.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna have Lomele wants to speak. Okay, well, I'll let Patty. I think Patty wants to probably speak on that too. So I'll let him give his 2 cents on
So
I'm
Lomele.
sorry.
touchy.
I just wanted to mention a good point. I think this is Jarl Augustus. He's the leader of New Valeria.
Go
Says
ahead.
there is no diplomacy whatsoever on NA, especially for the smaller factions. I think the last part about the
Mhm.
smaller groups not having I wouldn't say good enough Diplo, but not thinking Diplo was a part of the mod. I think that like that's a part of the culture, in my opinion. The smaller groups need to rely on diplomacy to put themselves in better positions. So you're not, just so you're not being rated every single day or whatever it may be. It's like you can diplomatically work that out. And I agree that the raids have kind of been a wake up call for a lot of people, like even
Mhm.
myself. It's tough to deal with sometimes, right? Like you do something in the morning, right? Or you do something, your guys do something early in the day, and then you answer for it later by getting rated or whatever. It's like that's kind of how it goes. But I feel like that is kind of the up and down part of the mod is if you have enemies, they're gonna come raid you or they're gonna come attack you. Like
Sure.
we can't like try to gentleman's our way around that part of the mod. I think that is just how it is.
And people need to realize this is at the end of the day, this is a PvP mod. There is going to be conflict. That is the whole point. I mean, Bannerlord, I mean, this is not a role play mod. People need to fight. They're going to fight. And there's going to be obviously hurt feelings. And if it's getting too much, that's when the diplomacy needs to be there. And the rules are just kind of there as a safeguard to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. But I'm hearing what you're saying that but
Yeah.
it's definitely conflict. There's a conflict in the community. All right, we're gonna let
Well,
Ducky speak. Or
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead. Are you done?
No, it's okay. My last thing I was gonna say is if we go to a map like Tarsus, right? Tarsus
Yeah,
has a lot of holdings, so if someone
it
is in a
does.
bad spot where they're being attacked all day, then
Yeah,
just move. Like just move to a
yeah,
better location. It's always the
yeah.
answer, right?
I mean, the map is always going to play a pretty significant factor, and every map is different, right? So that's why we can't keep changing the rules depending on the map, right? Like this is a
Yeah.
pretty small map. I think it's definitely been harder for people because of it's so easy to just declare a raid and then or declare a war and be at your enemy's door. So
All right, thank you guys.
yeah, yep. Thanks, buddy. All right. I hope I don't regret this. We're gonna let Ducky say something.
Good evening. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Good evening.
We can.
Yes.
Look at all of us. We all scraping back to the calls and the whims of the Europeans. From the beginning of VW, from the north to the south, the Australians and the Europeans, they created the inspiration for PE and PB. I think that it is time that we have our own module.
Okay.
The rules are created for the sake of lowering the barrier of entry for casual players, right? The aim for cultivating server population is to ream in casual players, right? But you have an issue. You have a riddle to solve. You have elite players and you have noobs. The rules are never going to work with those two classes. The reason why they won't is because casuals are always gonna have to read when they enter the server like a 3-paragraph entry, right? Which increases the barrier of entry. You have to first learn the game. You can't go to your dad and be like, "Hey, you want to come play BB?" Because like, oh, you have to read this 3-paragraph, 3-document page, and then you have to deal with Forsaken chains when you log into the server. So what actually has to happen is you need to create a PX that deals with player behavior. This actually existed in PW. It was called Outlaw Rating. But it was flawed. PW was flawed because it did not
All right,
foresee.
10 seconds.
Okay, Duffy. Yeah, you gotta wrap this up.
I'm finished.
All right, thank you, Ducky. I appreciate it. Made some good points.
So, just to talk about like, because he did bring up that we have a lot of rules for new players to learn. That's why we give like warnings and shit. And like, whenever we have new players, sometimes I won't even try to punish them because I'm like, okay, you're a new player. Let's just give some comp. You know what I mean? Like, you need to learn the rules. I know there's a lot, but I usually give grace to new players in a ticket. You know, it's not always just 3-day ban, first offense. So they have time. They have mentors whenever they join a clan that'll teach them the rules. It's not really that bad. We don't have a lot of new players breaking the rules, as many as you would expect. And the community tends to try to teach new players. Like, if a new player rule breaks on them, they'll try to, you know, explain before they ticket. So
Okay.
it's not that big of an issue.
Yeah. All right. I really want to wrap up this rules portion, so we can just move on to the map stuff. I don't want to keep people here all night.
Oh,
Um,
I told Beavis I'd let him up, so I have to honor
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right. Let's see what Beavis has to say.
Where's he at? Get him in here.
I don't know. I might have.
There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
I just want to quickly ask that the pursuing KR through doors is returned because I think it's really gay. This happened a bunch in this map with Town Watch and Bandits, where they would just fucking start shit with bandits, run inside and spam archers, and you really couldn't do anything about it. And it was fucking AIDS.
Okay. So I have a question. Why, if that happens, why don't you guys declare a raid? I mean, with the current rules, so obviously, we're
Because you
probably gonna
couldn't
change it.
you couldn't just keep chain raiding. We would, but they would just keep
Okay.
run like you would declare a raid, we'd finish the raid,
They don't have 6.
and then in the
Okay. I see.
downtime between raids, they'd yeah, especially when they didn't have 6 on. Like they would rarely ever have 6 on unless they were doing something. There would
Okay.
just be like 3 dudes in the castle. They'd start some shit with like one bandit. Bunch of guys would come out. They'd run into their castle and hide, and it would just completely ruin bandit gameplay.
Okay. So
See, okay. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go.
Can I go ahead? Okay.
Yeah.
So my issue, like the way that I see this, is I think that people need to be like factions need to be like every rule we make can't be that to benefit like outlaws, right? Like if outlaws are having a bad time because of a rule that protects factions in their castles, we already have so many ways to break into castles and take their stuff and ruin their day. Outlaws get enough content. Okay, like in my opinion, I think outlaws get enough content. Most of them merc for factions whenever there's a war going on. They're always going around halting people, raiding. So I would rather incentivize factions being protected more. Like having like let's say a serf gets halted and he runs into his castle. You break the gates down, come in, you start looting. Like it's another thing to compound with raids and wars that I don't know. I would
I
rather
also
not buff bandits as much.
it's not exclusively a bandit issue either. It would happen a few times with like clans. Just bandits was the one I had experience with, and I know it's an issue that others have had.
Yeah. I mean
Okay.
that's fair. It's just another way to break gates and get inside and take stuff.
All right. Thank you, Beavis. We will consider your suggestion. Thank you. All right. Anyone else have any more rule things that they want to talk about? Otherwise, we're going to move on. Yeah, I didn't want to spend an hour on this. All right, Lomele, last person.
Oh,
What'd
I'm
you
sorry.
got?
I keep
What
doing
you
this.
got for us?
My thing wasn't about rules. I had 2 topics.
Lomele! Okay.
Ban
All
him.
right. Okay. Wolf Assassin, I think we already let that person speak, right?
No.
And then Writer. I don't know these people. Do you want to let them speak?
Yeah,
They
go
have
ahead.
serious. Sure. All right. We have to say Wolf Assassin.
All right. So my main thing I wanted to speak about was the issue of back-to-back kind of toxicity, and how sometimes the rules are kind of used in a way to make it so that way people just continuously go and help people every 10 minutes, um, or raid people on a constant basis. But that's, kind of, we've already discussed that. But also, I've seen several times where a lot of people have just straight up gone and just um, stolen things and done things where it's like, yeah, sure, it's within the rules, but it's also like I've been out crafting for a couple
Yeah.
hours and I can't get anything done because I'm constantly getting harassed by everybody else on the server.
Okay. Okay. Are you in Rome? Am I right?
I am now, yeah. I used to be part of LGIX.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, ultimately, if you're losing stuff in your castle, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I get that, but
It's
it
just
was primarily every time I left my castle to go and surf or gather things, anything like that, I would
right.
constantly be harassed by everybody. It was on rotation and almost feels like people are talking and trying to target people, when there's low server pop.
Yeah, I hear you. This is a tough one because it's obviously I don't like to see that happen. I don't want to see people get like, what's the word, harassed,
I agree.
especially in
Agree. It's
low
not
low
personal,
pop
whoever said
hours.
that, but yeah.
But at the same time, it also is like not really something that admin, like there's not really a rule that we can make against that. It's not something we can necessarily
Well,
change. That's more of an internal. Do you want to add to that, Devil's Advocate?
yeah. So a big thing that Schlieb, before he stepped down, wanted to do
Mhm.
was crack down on toxicity in general. So if people are like intentionally just trying to ruin somebody's day, right? Like if you have enough evidence of that, like we as a staff team should try to protect the players, right? Like we don't want toxicity because toxicity breeds more toxicity and then it ends up just killing the server. I also had another thing I want to talk about with Beavis and the pursuing KR through doors, just real quick. I would pull up to a situation where they're
All right,
like,
thank you, Wolf.
hey, they're breaking into our castle, and I would get there and I'm like, who do you have KR on? Like, why are you breaking the doors, right? This is when we had that rule. And they'd be
Right.
like, the guy in there. And there's like 6 people in there. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
who? And they don't even know. They're going to break in, they're going to kill everybody. Pursuing KR through doors is good sometimes, but a lot of the time they don't even know who they're
Yeah.
trying to kill. They just go in and indiscriminately kill and raid. It's essentially just a raid with less steps, in my
No,
opinion.
it's
So,
true. And it makes it hell for the admins too to try to figure out who they had
exactly. Yeah.
KR on. And I agree. And that's why it's not like we're just gonna change that. We're gonna have to definitely consider it, maybe do a poll. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is what the point of the meeting though is to kind of get a pulse check, see what people are upset about. And yeah, we'll definitely consider it. And then okay, there's one more person that wants to speak, Writer. I don't know who this is, but you have the floor. And he's muted. Oh,
Hello. Are we
go
on
ahead.
maps or rules?
We're still on rules, but we're gonna transition to maps after this. So, what do you want to talk about?
I was waiting for maps.
All right,
Just go
let's
ahead.
just
Say
go.
whatever you want. Just
Go ahead.
Okay. Will we be having a public plate shop on the next map?
Good question. Um, this is something I've talked to Funk about, who's the player shop admin, I guess you could say. And the answer is I don't know. Ultimately, here's the answer. Ultimately,
Okay.
it is up to the
Why don't you
mapper.
know?
I don't know because it's up to each individual mapper to decide what they want to do with their map. That's
Okay.
not
Who's the
like,
mapper?
well, we don't know yet. We don't know what map we're
we
going to
haven't
use.
picked
That's
it.
what we're talking about. So maybe you want to come back at the end.
Okay. So what would? Okay. So if we're not gonna have a public high shop, can you at least make the doors breakable on the high shop?
Are you WF?
Okay.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
My God.
Okay.
yes, that was WF. Yes, it was. He's timed out because Funk timed it out. Toxic.
All right. All right. We're on to maps. Lomale wants to talk now. Go ahead,
Okay,
Lovely.
thank you. It's finally something that I have notes on. Okay, so just a
Yes.
disclaimer. I'm kind of new-ish to BB. I've only been playing since November last year.
Just
These last.
remember you're on a time limit, but go ahead.
Yes. So as far as the maps go, forgive me if this is a stupid question, but are the settlement like amounts kind of like locked in terms of like how many there are? Because going back to the diplomacy thing, like smaller clans that can't have their own little thing because there are only a certain number of castles, and all the big clans or the medium clans can take those and have leverage, but the smaller groups or people that just get on maybe 10, 20 guys. Um, they have less like space to work with. So my first, I guess, main question is: are the amount of settlements and places that you can fight for or use as leverage in diplomacy, is that locked in, or is there a possibility for expansion on that?
I guess I'm not really understanding what you're asking.
Like,
Are you
is
asking how many like holdings?
basically holdings? Yeah. Is
Like,
there a possibility that in
that
future
depends on the
maps there
map.
will be more and more?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
depends on the map. Some
yeah.
might
So
have
go ahead.
20, some might have 8. It just depends
Yeah.
on the map.
Okay.
So in terms of the mapping, I mean, everyone knows that making a map is extremely time consuming, and so it's yeah, the more holdings you have, the more time it's going to take. I will say that there are maps in the works that have more, and then there's also maps in the works that are small and condensed. So it just depends, right? What is why? I guess my question is like, why is it so important that there's more holdings to you?
Well, to me, I guess personally, gives people diversity, lets people make more decisions in terms of like, hey, do we want to stay here? Do we want to switch? Do we want to, trade up with
Mhm.
another clan? Do we want to say, because I mean, going back to
Yeah.
the single castle or like being able to have multiple castles or holdings or whatever, that I think
Yeah.
the issues with that would be alleviated slightly, maybe not to the extent that we have to change the rule, but the issues with that would be alleviated if there were just more as an absolute metric, places to be and places to hold and fight for of value. And so if there was more available, there would be less kind of a demand, and so you would have less of an importance for each clan to let's say this is ours, this is our home, we're going to stay here for the entire map. Because I've been in clans that like to hop around.
Yes.
I've played with clans that like to stay the same place, and I get the whole stock thing. I'm not too read up on the mechanical issues with the stocks and the rating and whatever, but it just gives you more opportunities to make decisions and play the game instead of worrying about gear constantly or location constantly, or having to stick with the same kind of style of play, which not all the players, even within some clans, want to do. So that's, I guess I'll stop there so I don't rant.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks,
That's fair.
Lemley. I mean, I can just say that historically, when we've played larger maps, they tend to not do well, which is why we started making smaller maps, and then people wanted bigger maps. So it's a balancing act. I think the map has to reflect the current population of the server, right? You don't want to have a map with 20 castles when there's only 5 clans playing, but you also don't want to have a 8 castle map when there's 10 clans playing. It's a balancing act. We'll let other people talk about the map stuff. All right, Grim wants to talk.
Hey there.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, kind of touching on what because you kind of mentioned how having a lot of castles on one map creates a large overflux, essentially, of castles. Would having a larger map affect stability of the server more drastically than saying like a higher fidelity, higher detail map that is smaller? Because one of the things I've noticed is when we have a small map, it creates a lot more infantry fights, but it puts more strain towards cavalry, and they can't necessarily do as much as they want to. But it changes the play style based off of that. And I know a lot of players love doing cavalry, and they love those large open maps. But at the same time, do we have to sacrifice that entire play style for reducing either the strain on the server or the time consumption of how long it would take to make those maps.
I mean, in terms of strain on the server, PB is pretty good about handling maps, but I've noticed that the bigger maps, like when we played on Normandy, it definitely seemed to have a lot more crashing. But then on small maps, like the ones I made that are really small, also had a lot of crashing. So I don't really know the answer to this. From what I've heard from Yuri, has said that yes, bigger maps are worse for the server, are harder to handle. However, we played big maps that have been fine. So I don't know if that's 100% foolproof. So to answer your question is, I don't really know, to be honest. But I don't think we need to sacrifice. Like, I think people should make the maps they want to make as big as they want within reason, obviously. But I prefer detail over size, but some people feel this differently. So
Is
But-
the map size and detail, is that kind of what impacts the end, like the end server stability? Do you have any idea on that? Because if we have something like a larger map and a lower detail, would it have the same impact on the server as a small map with a high detail? I would imagine that would be the case, right?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I guess we're gonna find out. I mean, we're
Okay.
gonna, yeah. So that goes into the question of what map we play next, and we have options. So I'll send you back so I can talk about this. But thank you, Grim, for your opinion, or your question. But the options are for the next map. It's going to depend on what we want to play next. So the goal is to get a map up by next week. Saturday is my goal. Obviously, everyone's saying Tarsus. Tarsus is absolutely an option, but we got to make sure it's ready. So everyone has access to the test server, I think. You can message Praetor if you want the password, but he's cooking on that. The other options are Greater Divide and Ironbound, and I can stream them if you want. But we can do a poll also. I was hoping Praetor would be here to stream his map, but he had to go. So I can stream Ironbound if you guys want. But before we decide on that, because I know we'll probably lose some people if I start streaming, I want to finish up with one more thing. Age 2. Do we want to start the server on age 2 or do it normal? How we start with age 1? And I'll let people speak about this if they want. All right, Lucius wants to talk.
So just real quick on that one, age 2 for sure we should start on that. Like age 1 is like why are we why are we on age 1 for a full week?
Okay,
It's
so is
crap
your problem
gear,
with
it takes
age 1 or
forever.
is your problem with the length of it? Because we could shorten it if
Yeah,
if
yeah, you
everyone
could
wants
do
to
age
do
1
that.
for a day, sure, but like it's just crap. It's crap gear. Takes forever to kill someone. It's not
Okay.
fun.
Someone do a poll, devil's advocate, for how long people want age 1 for. All right, thank you, Lucius. Anyone else want to talk on that?
Yeah, Dapper,
Bro's wife. Sure.
do one of those
Oh,
cool
we have a few
polls.
people.
I don't know how to do
Okay,
cool
so I kind of have a question. It's not necessarily about this, but it is about the whole crafting aspect of the game.
Okay.
Would there be
Go ahead.
any way we could get a merger for surfing and crafting? I saw a lot of stuff in the comments.
That's been, yeah, we've tried, and so there in the main PB Discord there is a suggestion to do this, and I upvoted it because it's a good suggestion. Let me see if I can find Yuri's reply just so I can relay that to everyone here. Ultimately, the reply was no, because they want to keep it like the original PW, but maybe that was kind of the consensus is they might do it. So maybe if we keep bothering them about it, they'll do it. But
Right.
there's nothing we can do though from a mapping perspective. It's all within the mod, as far as I know.
No,
Clarky
I get it.
said something different, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I'd have to look more into that. But as far as I know, it's within the mod itself, and we would have to talk to Yuri about that.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Who wants to talk? Alex. And I'm going down the list. Go ahead.
Hey guys. So
Yep.
first of all, it relates to the activity of the server as well.
Sure.
My personal opinion is I think the server map cycles should be shortened, and all the age cycles should be shortened relatively. So it seems like the server's active for 3 weeks. So why not just shorten all the 4 ages to fit in within the 3 weeks, so we can actually get to play age 4 without the server dying.
I hear you. But what happens if we shorten it and then people start playing? Then people start quitting the server even sooner because I've noticed a lot of people just don't want to play age 3 or age 4 because they don't like guns. So we might have the opposite effect where we end up killing the server faster by doing that. You know what I mean?
There might be yeah, I see what you mean. There's a lot of people who do enjoy the gun aspect, though.
Yeah,
as well.
I do too.
And who do want to play H4, but everyone's so burnt out beforehand, so that all the clans aren't on, so the server's dead.
No, I agree. I would like to speed it up also, or
Maybe
keep
just a
us
couple
on-
days of H4, maybe like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Elongate H2.
Yeah,
and then
I don't.
some formula like that. I'm not really sure the best configuration for it, but
you want to play
definitely
H4 is what you're saying.
just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And not when the server's dead, because 4 weeks for the same map, the server's dead, and it's been like that for multiple maps in a row. So 3-week
I hear ya.
maps might work out better.
I hear you. Okay. All right. A lot of people want to talk, so we gotta move quick.
I like Patty's suggestion of 3 days. So we start the map on Friday. That whole weekend is age 1, and then age 2 starts that entire next week. That's
Not
not a
like
bad
that
idea.
Monday or something, or like
Yeah.
Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely. I mean, guys, the ages, that's all within our control. We can change that, no problem. That is totally doable. We just have to come to a consensus of what we want, because
Yeah, we'll do a poll in the actual poll channel.
Yeah, we'll definitely do. I already put a few in there, but we'll add more. All right, I want to go through these quickly. Falco wants to talk. I had a piece so bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a little thing about like the age system in general. Like I
Yeah, go
think that like primarily I see a big issue is like obviously people like the castles that they initially go into, right? And people don't want to leave, blah blah XYZ, or they want to be forced out of it or whatever, and then you can always fight back for it, right? But like I see on EU like clans constantly swapping castles. Like one day they're in one, the next day they're in another, and that provides them and their guys like a new sense of content because they're not sitting in the same place for 4 weeks straight. That's just my take. I think that age 1 should also still be the full week. I know that sounds terrible for most people, but like it makes the fighting a little bit more interesting because everyone just has dog shit weaponry, so it's literally just like a giant shit show. But that's just me personally, and that's
Yeah,
it.
the Hobo Wars. The Hobo Wars are fun. I don't know. Age 1
Yeah,
isn't bad.
I like the Hobo Wars. Yeah, I could agree with that. I think what's happening is we play so little of age 3 and age 4 because the server's dead by then that everyone is so sick of age 1 because that's all we really get to play is age 1, age 2.
Yeah, I mean, everybody goes through the process of surfing like crazy. They get their stocks
Yep.
built up. They get raided in ward, lose it, surf again, and then by the time age 3 comes around, it's like just they don't even care at that point. Just
Yeah.
burn out.
All right, Poop really wants to talk. I'll let Poop speak.
Okay, and if you want to go take your piss, dude, I got
No, that's
something I
fine.
want to talk about.
I'll be quick. I'm just going to do 3 points. One, I have to ask a question first. Can y'all change when something is like, if something's age 1 to move it to age 2, or if something age 2, move it to age 1?
Like a specific item?
Yeah.
That would be on the mod side, so we'd have
Okay.
to talk to Yuri about that.
Ignoring that, then, because I can ignore that point.
Okay.
I think there should be a
But
discussion.
make a mod suggestion if it's important.
I've had one for 1.5 years. It's fine.
Okay. Well, you're cooked. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm cooked. Anyways, guns. That needs to be addressed. People either love them or hate them. I think we
Yeah.
need to talk about that because mappers can just take them out. They can just not put them
That's true.
in the map. So mappers
You're
can
not
take them
wrong.
out.
Yeah.
That's I think it's
So
really important to talk about for H3 and 4 because I think people like plate, but they don't like guns, and some people
Mhm.
like guns but don't care about plate. And
so when so for Normandy, I took the guns out just to kind of see and it seemed like people were actually fine with that. I mean, some people complained about not having guns in H3. But I mean, what another option is remove the H3 guns, only leave it for H4. Like, there's a lot of leeway here that the mappers can do.
yeah, personally, what
so
I was gonna say is you could just move all the guns to H4, so people can have their RP with their guns, or we could just do a map update and have the
Yeah.
guns part of that for the people who want to roleplay, line battle, all that. For
Yeah.
like versus Frontier, they can have that, and a mapper can just make a spare file, where the guns are added, and
yeah,
it'll be
it's a
really easy for
pain, but it is doable for sure.
you can just make the map with it and then just like search, get rid of all it.
It's not that simple. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear
and
you.
then the only other suggestion I had was, shoot, I forgot. Never mind. Get me out of here.
All right, thanks, Poop. All right, pillar of the community right there. All right. Okay, let's see. We haven't heard from this guy yet.
Who, Beavis?
No, this guy. Hello.
So, what are our options for the map? When will will we get a new meeting once the map has been decided? And yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, so Schlieb did not want, for whatever reason, did not want me to stream in the map that we are playing on now. I don't know why, but
So
that
people
was just a
couldn't
decision.
decide where they wanted to go and like play
Yeah,
what castle's best.
yeah. Ultimately, though, I think it's better just to show people to build hype for a map
Okay.
instead of just going in blind.
And speaking
Personally,
of showing people, when will pubs get to preview the map?
well, when we decide, I would imagine that we would either announce it or just do our best to just show people, when we're on. It's hard because we don't want to like, not everyone's gonna be available at a certain time. So, but yeah, I mean, we're obviously gonna do our best to show it to people before it's released. But the options as of now are Greater Divide, Tarsus, and Ironbound Beach.
Will we get a vote on which one?
Yeah, we'll probably put up a map vote. I want
Okay,
people to
last
see the
question.
maps before we vote, but Prager
we
isn't
get-
here. Go ahead.
Can we get a new map meeting once the map has been decided?
Yeah.
What, to stream it?
Yeah, can we get a new meeting to discuss what will be or will not be in the map once we know what the map is?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, bye. I think that was the debuff again. All right.
Just asking the community here. So, would you guys prefer if every player in the game was able to vote on the next map, or if it's only clan leaders? So there's not like a player inflation thing on the votes.
I say just let the players vote. Honestly, I think restricting it just to clan leaders is going to piss people off.
Yeah, but it's like an electoral college thing. You know,
It is. It is. I mean, people, but that's there's nothing we can do about that. So
give Rome 3 votes. Give KOTF 2.
Yeah. That's what we gotta do. All right. All right. 2 more people want to speak. Lucius, you're up.
Sorry, I didn't say my hot take earlier, but
Do it. What's your hot take?
give Cav guns.
Right,
In Age 4.
All right, that's a great hot take. That'd actually be pretty cool. I love Dragooners. Beavis, you're up. Yeah, it is a mod thing. We can't do anything about that.
I was gonna talk about the age thing. So,
go ahead.
I think age 1 should be shorter, but I think it needs to be a very specific middle ground because if it's too long, there's no point in playing age 1 and like getting shit stocked.
Yeah.
And also I think guns. I love them. They're one of my favorite things in the later ages. But I think they should be a player shop, like only player shop can make them and sell them. It would give player shop more importance and still keep guns.
Yeah.
Thank you, Movement. I love you.
Yeah, that's something I've talked to Funk about doing. Just player shop only having guns. I mean, only being able to get guns to player shop. I think it's not a bad idea personally because it still allows people that option, but also prevents them from being just spammed like crazy. So yeah, these are all things that can be done on the map side for sure. And we just need to get the consensus, right? Just because one person says they don't like guns doesn't mean we're going to move guns. So
Yeah.
we're going to do some polls. Keep an eye on the server polls channel. Does anybody else want to talk before we conclude?
I do have a
Go
topic
ahead.
to discuss.
Go
So
for it.
we had a discussion in staff chat. Everybody wants to talk about content, and
Might be.
content. Yep. So obviously content is what keeps people entertained, right? So the main content that we have right now is going around and halting. We have raids and wars. That's essentially it. Am I missing anything? That's pretty much it, right? So as a staff team, yeah, there's RP, but we don't enforce that. That's, you guys can still do that. So 4 things. Yeah, so what Spartacus said. We were discussing having events like we want to encourage more field battles, right? Like fights outside of castles, more just killing each other in the open battlefield, stuff like that. So we were talking about events such as like, for example, we announced the day before we're gonna have an area, we're gonna designate an area on the map. It could be anywhere, it could be a mine or whatever. And every faction is incentivized to go and fight over that location. And if somebody can hold it for, let's say, 30 minutes, just an example, then they will get to where it can kind of relieve some of the stress on people's castles and being raided and sieged all the time. Are you guys interested in that? Yeah, so okay, that's another thing, movement, because I was talking about that in chat. What if Rome and Targaryen just band up and they win every time, right? So we can ban people from events. Like, let's say you won the last event, you're not allowed to partake in this one. Or if Targaryen and Rome is doing it over and over and over, okay, you guys cannot be allied for this event. Like Targaryen and Rome cannot team up for certain things, and we can modify it on a day-to-day basis. So how do you guys feel about it?
I just got back. What's up?
I'm just talking about more admin events, like what we discussed in staff chat.
Wolfgang wants to talk.
Give
You
more
want him to talk?
content. Yeah,
Wolfgang,
just
go.
let's see.
Hello. I don't know if Blaze is going to address this, but
Blaze is not here
we guys
yet.
going to talk about the
I'm not.
HACM stuff?
We already did. What do you want to know?
Oh, okay. What was the consensus on? Sorry, I didn't see the consensus on that.
Okay, I'll summarize. I was already asked to be CM. And we have another person who's been asked to be HA, and I don't know if that person wants to reveal themselves, but ultimately I said no. But that doesn't mean that I'm basically acting CM without the title. So that's kind of what's happening at the moment.
Does that mean we can like move forward as our own community with that implemented, or okay?
We already
All
are.
right.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're doing here. That's what we're talking.
All right.
There are no
Just want to
EU
make sure that
overlords. EU pays for the server. Yuri pays for the server. He develops the mod. So ultimately, there's only. I mean, we can't do everything we want to do, but we're trying our best to make this tailor this for our community. So that's why we're here, figuring out what people want ultimately.
Okay.
Does that
Sounds
help?
good. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Sorry, that was off topic. Johnny wants to talk. See what Johnny has to say.
All right, so going back to your whole whoever proposed the mine event thing, instead of these admin driven events, I know this was a suggestion at one point. What if we had mines that were, let's say, one specific resource that would make that mine 100 times more valuable and give clans an incentive to fight over it, which would bring more content. If only one mine has iron and that one mine is near an enemy's castle, then you need to go fight for that. You need the iron, right? That's going to drive players and people towards that mine.
Okay, but just to play devil's advocate, let's say Rome takes it. I know I keep using Rome as an example, but they take it. They're the only ones with iron. Now, who's going to be able to make gear to even fight them to take it, right?
Listen, you got to take it back.
How?
Rome is not. I mean,
Rome has all the armor.
any clan is not invincible.
No, that is true. Everybody is on an equal playing field as an individual player, but some have more people. So if they can dominate those resource points, then it makes it more difficult for other people to take it. It gives them an advantage that perpetuates, right? So they get the first access to the iron, they get the better weapons, which makes it easier for them to control that point. You get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, and you're 100% right on that. I would say to that once again brings back to the Diplo thing. Different groups who would never speak to each other. Maybe
Yeah.
now they decide to start speaking to each other. They team up and like, hey, let's go beat up on Rome and try and get this iron back. It just,
Yeah.
if in my opinion, it just opens the door to an endless amount of possibilities of what couldn't happen.
It does. And that's another thing with the admin ran events that I'm talking about is that opens up more doors to diplomacy as well. Like, okay, we have an event tomorrow, we've got to do this. Let's try to make allies and try to see how we can win this event. Like it's just another thing. And also I want to incentivize more field battles. I think most people like field battles, like open sieges get a little bit boring. Like everybody sits there at their castle waiting, like, is somebody gonna siege us? Are we gonna have to siege them? It's like a lot of stalemates happen that way. So siege battles need to be kind of on the back burner, I think, for content because I think everybody enjoys field battles a little bit more.
I agree. I like your ideas with the admin events. I just, in my opinion, I feel like the community, like the people, the server pop as a whole, should be more proactive in creating these things naturally than rather say Solomon comes on and says, "Hey guys, admin event in 15 minutes, we're doing this." You know what I mean? I think like the players should be incentivized to create these interactions between themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. In a
Yeah.
perfect world, I would love that.
Well, no, I think we
Right.
can. Like we all have the possibility to do it.
Yeah.
We choose not to.
We need to, as a community, I'm talking to just everybody here, we need to, as a community, realize that like staff and players, we're all here to achieve the same goal, which is to enjoy the game, have fun, keep the mod we love alive. So if we can all just work together to achieve that same end, like we'll be way better off. And I think that we have the capability, as you said, Johnny, to to do that. We just need more communication, more discussion, less toxicity. We just need to, as a community, lock in, essentially.
100%. Yeah, that's really it. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar al-Assad. We're gonna have a few more people talk, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Deity Cloud, you're up. Deity Cloud. Mm, mm, mm. Hello. Okay. Not Trazen. That's WF. Beavis wants to speak.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know how this works.
Go ahead.
So I have a question. So is there any
Go ahead.
plans to introduce a guide for new players or at least a way to guarantee a protected safe zone for them for a designated period? Because when I joined, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what button to press. No one guided me on what I needed to do or something like that. And not just that too, in so-called safe area, there wasn't any type of protection because you would get RDM randomly from other players who knew the rules and just people who didn't know the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. It's not easy for new people. I know that like people like Funk will play on the server and they try to help new people get set up. And there's guides like on the PB Discord. The last time I talked, I brought this up to the devs a few months ago, and they were trying to implement something where you could press a button and it would bring up like guides on how to play, basically. There's also been talk about mappers can create like a tutorial island. These are all, I think, good options. Mappers might have to just take it into their own hands and do this because I guess we're not getting those instructions in game anytime soon. But yeah, I would agree. It's hard for new
But it's
players. But
not to the two. Sorry to interrupt. Any other
go
map
ahead.
that you had before Normandy, when I spawned in, it was a shit show. I had like people
Yeah.
RDM and doing whatever they want, and you
Yeah.
spawned in the action. Like it's a
Yeah.
very bad
But some
spawn
people like
area.
that. But some people like it spawned in and seeing action. I hear what you're saying.
Some people
We
do, but when you're very
yeah.
new and you don't know what button to press or what you need to do or something or how to play, it turns them off. And some people, when they see all these chaotic things happening and they're just
Mm,
trying to learn how to play at the very beginning, it kind of steers them away from not joining your server anymore because they see how it's unfriendly towards new players
yeah.
until they get
I
settled in.
yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll write that down. That need to help new players
All right.
more. So,
Thank you very much.
you. All right. Beavis, what do you want to say? Trezent? No. You're WF.
I just had something quick. I wanted to talk. I think I don't have any specific solution to this. I think it's a very complicated problem, but I think it should be a bit harder to make money. I find it very easy to just min max and get like a bajillion dollars and fucking
Interesting.
never have to work again on the server.
Interesting.
It was specifically an issue on the Realm of Thrones map, the original one. There was like 900 gold spawns, and you could just fucking make like $1 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can. That's so. Are you saying it's too easy to mine for money, or it's too easy to craft for money?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's just too easy in general to get money. Like you can do so many things. Like again, I don't have a solution for it. It's a complicated issue. But I think it is an issue that we should work to fix as a community.
Okay.
Do you think that contributes to the death of the servers, that everybody has so much money they don't really care anymore?
Yeah, because you kind of don't
more
like. There's no
acceptable.
point in playing because you just have like everything. Like you have $1 million to drop on whatever you want. There's no point to like work for anything.
A lot of people want to speak on this. Oh boy.
That-
Okay. Well, I think you sparked something.
That's all.
No, thank you, Beavis. Yeah, I mean, I've heard mixed complaints about the money. Honestly, some people think that it's too hard. Some people think that there's too much money. I'll let someone else speak about this. Falco wanted to talk. Go ahead. Falco.
As
Master
a
of
dude
coin.
who's literally all about the money. I would say that I get that sentiment, right? But like for the average player, they're not being able to play for like our clan in particular, like where most of the dudes are on for like 2 hours and then they gotta get off. You know what I'm saying? Like people got lives and shit. Like it's not easy to consistently make money. And being a contributor to basically most of our clan's economy, like it's like it without the money system it currently is, like it would be almost impossible to consistently arm everyone and actually like get people out into the fight. Like we'd basically be running hobos with fucking wood cutting axes at people on repeat to hopefully get something. And as Spartacus was saying, more money is more gear, which incentivizes people to then have more fights. You know what I'm saying? Like it's counterintuitive to dampen the economy when you need money to be able to go out there and actually have a fair contest with another group.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think the average person is not, doesn't want to grind for 2 hours to make money. I think the average person is getting on in the evening for wards and stuff. And then you have obviously the people who want to craft and surf in the off hours. So it's a difficult to say. I don't want to mess with the economy too much. I think it's in a decent spot right now.
Yeah.
I think it's
but
I think it's perfectly fine the way it is, to be honest. I know
Yeah.
some people have exuberant amount of gold, but that's also the people who play it 24/7. So
Yeah, and exactly. All right, thank you, Falco. So many people want to talk. All right, okay, Wolf Assassin, and then we got to wrap this up soon. I don't want to keep going here for too long. Hello.
Let's try to get the
Yeah,
people that
so-
haven't spoken yet.
Yeah, I have a
I'm
quick
sorry, my bad.
input
Go
into
ahead.
this. Is I think there is definitely some things that need to be reworked on how much it requires to be made. So like some of the armor pieces, it takes a lot to make them, but other things it's super easy to make. And so like you'll have a full stock on like spears or something else that's super easy to make, bolts and a couple other things that are easy to make, or like maces are kind of up there, but other things like the early age, it's kind of difficult to make tons of leather and heavy armor. So
Yeah, first stage is not profitable.
Yeah.
I've crafted a lot in the first stage, and it sucks. You're making nothing. So I hear you.
Yeah, I would definitely think that's worth bringing up, making some of the things easier to actually make would be a good way to do that, because some of them it's it's not necessarily the money that's the fault. It's sometimes the actual amount of stocks that you can make of certain armor or weapon pieces.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of this is like on the mod side is a mod suggestion. So we can't really do much about that, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
At least you guys can bring it up though. That's one of the things I
Yeah.
think this whole discussion is
Yeah. No, I hear
really
you.
important about.
But you guys have a lot of power here. I mean, you guys are able to make mod suggestions and then tell us that you made those suggestions, that we can go and upvote it and add on to that, right? Like, but I hear you. You know, if it's important, like we can obviously pass that along too. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
Let's get
Funk.
Funk in here. I know he wanted to be.
Yeah, I sent him that just so he has the ability to talk.
Okay.
Speak on whatever.
We got Knight, Soy Master, Grim's
You
already
pick.
spoken.
You pick. I've been picking.
I'm gonna get Moraine up here. He's all the way at the bottom, hard to see. What's up, Moraine?
Hey guys, is the audio working here?
Hello.
Awesome. All right, hey, I'm on my phone, so this might sound a little funky. I just wanted to kind of throw in a thing on the economy side of things, and it's from your maps on Bavaria, the one that it was actually my first PB map. Loved it, but we did an amazing thing that I think would make a great sort of solution to a lot of the gold issues, and it was the special weapons auction. Sold a bunch of specialized items. They had some special stats, special looks to them. Something that I'm not sure how much of that is on the mod side, but I'm sure it takes less mod side effort than admin team, compared to some of the larger changes.
Are you talking about the auction?
Yeah, the auction. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So like the items that you can't craft that people paid
exactly.
for.
Yeah, items you
Oh,
can't
okay.
that are unique looking and that are very expensive at the auction. We held that closer to the end of the map, and so it didn't really work as like mid game money sink. But I think that in age 2 or age 3 could really, people would blow like hundreds of thousands of gold on that.
Yeah.
And that
So
would lead to all new people wanting to surf.
yeah, okay. Yeah, we definitely should start doing the auctions again. That was something that Getty actually did. And he got a lot of he got memed on for that. But it was actually, I think, a good thing for the economy ultimately. So
Okay.
okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
that's a
Rain.
good one. I put that in the notes.
Cool.
I'll pull. Let's get Moo up here, I guess.
Moo.
This is mostly more a question. Hello, everybody. I feel like something that we sidestepped a lot in this discussion, and I feel something that is a lot about this server's Ziki, at least in my opinion, in the short time that I've been here, is maybe toxicity. We've talked a lot about unfun play patterns and how we can tackle that with the rules. And I feel like something like toxicity is really hard to tackle. It's not easy, but I feel like it is like a big part of how people get burnt out on the last week.
Yeah, that's fair. And
And
we can implement
this
rules.
is not a complaint. This is more like a question
Yeah.
of, is there going to be
We're just
discussion
bringing
around
it up.
this? Is there like, because we didn't talk about it tonight, and I know we're wrapping up. Yeah.
I got it. We got a ban room. I hear you.
No.
But
This is not my fault. I'm not singling out anybody. Like I've had
No, I'm
bad
joking.
interactions with more than just Rome. I try to be nice with everybody.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'll speak on it for just a second. The thing about toxicity is that we can make as many rules as we want, but it's player attitude that eventually like causes this issue, right? Like we can make a bunch of rules and stuff, but eventually we just have to get to the point where the admins are like, okay, you're being too toxic, you're getting banned. Like we just got to use admin discretion to weed that out. And people won't like it. People will say we're biased or whatever. But if you really want to tackle toxicity, it's got to be done by staff, seeing it happen. Be like, this has happened too many times. You chain rated Targaryen, like that's just being toxic. Ban for toxicity, which we don't really do that right now, but we could. It's just going to be controversial. But
I
yeah,
honestly just wanted to know that it was the thing that was being considered right now. Because if
yeah,
we're talking about the future of the server, that was it.
I am definitely considering it.
Just like how we can tackle it as a community as a whole. Like we could do
Yeah.
better also as players.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, we had the problem is not the problem, but we had a whole like 2-hour discussion with a bunch of people in VC, and it didn't seem like it went anywhere.
Yeah, it's
So
hard.
it's hard. We try, but ultimately everyone just needs to just either work on it internally or we got to figure out something else. But yeah,
Because we don't want to kill the server by making it like
of course.
too much like we still want people able to be
It's difficult to balance.
themselves
I get
and
what you're
like
saying.
have
Yeah.
some harshness, But
Like
yeah.
still have shit talking, like still have
Yeah.
banter, but yeah, we get you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get
I hear
somebody
you.
else.
All right,
I think
cheers,
you know.
thanks.
I do want to wrap up quickly.
Okay.
Maybe do one more person.
I'll pull Knight up here. Knight's been waiting for a while.
Okay.
Yo,
I don't know.
what do you mean no?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing is the armor. For me personally, this vanilla armor has been like it's not really a big issue, but it's a little ugly, and yeah, that's
Okay, let's get. I'll pull up
He did.
Sir Anthony.
No, he was cooking. He had
He
some
was
good
talking about
points.
ugly armor. I don't know.
Ugly armor is not
It-
important right now. All right,
it-
not important.
He had a good point.
So I think a big thing with this, like how we were talking about toxicity and just the chain rating, I think smaller faction sizes might help with that. Forcing people to actually take more than just one castle. It's like you'll get the super pub factions that are just absolutely massive, but if you force multiple factions to band together, it'll increase more castles being used. Because we have like
Yeah.
20 factions, but only every 3 of them or 5, like 5 of them are ever used. Yeah, no
You're talking about
bunking.
like bunking, like Jada with.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
massive factions like that.
Yeah, and
So like
that's,
putting a
in my
limit.
opinion, that's a response to Rome being huge. Okay, can we just say it how it is? Like it's
Well,
a reaction.
let's not.
I mean,
let's not throw anybody under the
but
bus.
there's
but
also
it's a lot of
smaller
factors.
factions within Rome that could also have their own castles.
Yeah,
So I
true.
mean, it fixes the solution both ways.
I mean, yeah, we're not gonna make a rule on it, but like if we were to make a rule, I would say if you are more than 5 people, you should have your own place. Personally, obviously we can't enforce that, but it should. I think it should be a gentleman's
Mhm.
agreement between clans that look.
Right.
If you have
Well, so
more
is that
than
not something
5
you can
people,
hard set in the servers?
no, I
Like
mean,
in
how
the
are we gonna
actual
enforce
faction
that?
settings?
I mean, what
No,
are we
no,
gonna
like
do?
in the
Tell-
faction settings, you can't limit it.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I see.
I mean, I can ask Yuri, but ultimately, I think these clans just need to agree. Hey, if you have more than 5 people in a faction, they should have their own place. Like, why are we creating mega factions? I don't think it's a good idea personally, but that's something the clans have to work out amongst themselves. I don't think the admins can really do anything about that.
Yeah,
Unless
I think
someone
there's
has a
too
better
long of a historical beef for that to happen. So I
It
was saying it
is.
has to be
Yeah,
something
I
hard
mean,
coded.
there's always the idea of a fresh map. Maybe people will stop doing it, but yeah, you'll just have to see. And
We need a
ultimately, I
community
think that's
manager to manage this
yeah,
community.
yeah, I agree. Thank you. Ultimately, that's kind of what I want to end it on is like this is only going to work if everyone wants to keep playing and wants to do it. And if not, they're going to pull the plug. We're going to pull the plug. Like the staff team is here doing this for free for everybody to have fun. But if we're just constantly having to deal with this, we're going to just say enough and we're not going to have PB anymore. Now, there's other mods that are being worked on. I'm not going to go into them, but this isn't the only option that we have. So if it shuts down, it shuts down. But we're going to give it our best shot. We're going to play another map. We're going to announce it. We're probably going to have a poll. Yeah, we're going to have a poll. Keep an eye on the polls channel, and we're just going to keep playing. All right? Is everyone cool with that?
Yep. And
Yep.
as I said, we're gonna have more admin events, like more things incentivized, the field battles and all that. So things are gonna change. It's not gonna be just another map and nothing's different. I'm gonna try to communicate more with the faction leaders and stuff, and try to get more honorable diplomacy going on. Okay, so there are gonna be some changes, but ultimately it comes down to the player base. Like the factions that refuse to log on need to log on if they want to play and keep the mod alive. People need to
Yeah.
stop vetoing and all this, and we just need to come together as a community, realize that this is our mod. We're all working together. We're all players. Okay, we're trying to have fun. So let's just, it's a culture thing.
Yeah, and I mean, look, there's just certain clans that are not gonna are just not built for the persistence mod, and that's okay. We're not gonna try to change the rules a ton to appeal to those people because ultimately it's a persistent mod. It is persistent Bannerlord, so it's not an event mod. It's not an event server. So people just need to understand that, and if they don't, then we're just gonna have to go somewhere else and play somewhere else. That's
Yeah.
ultimately what's happening. But we're here. We hear you guys. We're trying, and none of us are getting paid for this. So be grateful.
You're not.
Yeah, you're getting paid. All right. Anything else?
All right.
I appreciate everyone.
No. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming.
We're gonna end it there.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this felt productive. You can DM me with any questions you have. I'll ask Sawman if it's her Sawman. And I'm gonna hop into the staff chat for any staff that want to discuss the results.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that was an interesting discussion. Yes, I have some things to say about it, but I think it would be best if I just leave that where it is and refer you to the server that hosted it. As you can see up here, it's the Persistent Bannerlord NA Discord server. I will link that in this video. I don't know if it's going to be one whole video because it is hour 30 minutes. Maybe it'll probably be a whole video. I don't know if I'm going to cut it into clips because that wouldn't be fair to all the people that wanted their thing to be heard. So also it would be a kind of a intense process to cut this whole thing into clips. There's a lot said that is not only important, but probably went a little bit longer than the YouTube Shorts limit or the whatever platform this eventually ends up on. But yeah, hopefully everyone got to hear things in the community, opinions they agree with, ones they don't, that they can debate in a good-hearted fashion. If you have any, I guess, things to say, you can not only go here, but also I read all of my comments, and I tend to speak for the people that usually don't speak up. So if you comment anything on my videos, either this one or any of them, I read all of them. I will reference them usually if they're, when the relevant topic comes up. Yeah, I know there was some people in this that I saw that had their hand up for a large part of the discussion, but they didn't get to speak for whatever reason. But that's I guess how it goes. There's a lot of people here, and the admins can't keep an eye on everything, so give them some grace. Obviously, there are people with bias. You read the chat. The chat was there the whole time, so there were certain biases that came out. But no one here is, I think, an evil person. I haven't met anyone in this community who I would call evil or not deserving of being able to play games. And so, to an extension, this game. I think there are some people who shouldn't play this game. I would prefer if they didn't, but I mean, I don't have the power to change that, so it's not incredibly relevant. Yeah, not much more to say. So thank you for watching or listening, if you have. And I love you, and good night.